All right, back to business. I'm skipping the Kuwait stuff, the whole like trip back because it was so just nonsense. Like she didn't give us anything. She spent a 7 hour layover and didn't tell us like what she did at all. Did not tell us what she did for 7 hours in that layover. And like, you would think that you're traveling alone, you're in the Middle East. Um, I imagine you'd be wandering through the airport and looking at the shops and trying to find something to do before your hopper flight leaves for Kuwait, right? That seems logical, and we got nothing out of that. So I'm starting to get the impression, and I have been for quite some time, that she doesn't, this is her only job. This is how she makes money. I don't think she really wants to work anymore. I don't think she wants to do her job. What's the expression for that? It's when people show up to work, but they really do as little as possible just to get their paycheck. There is an actual expression for that. I can't remember what it's called though. It's like has something to do with quitting, but not actually quitting. Anyway, let's see. No, I don't think so's recap of her. It's another disgusting mukbang. Heads up, trigger warning. There is a pretty gross looking fried tilapia fish in this one, and what looks like an entire hubcap of fried rice. It's pretty gross, you guys. So anyway, let's go.
Hello guys, assalamu alaikum, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I show you my weigh-in, kind of how I've been eating since being back, and talking about my struggles with food while in Canada, kind of versus while being here, to give you a bit of insight on what I struggle with on a daily basis as a binge eater and food addict.
Back in Kuwait, and the first video is about food figures.
If those subjects are triggering for you, you might not want to watch this, protect your mental health. So there's many of you who actually have asked me to be very open and forthcoming.
Why don't you actually put a label on your videos that say that there's going to be overeating in this video? And be warned that there's going to be a lot of eating in this video from somebody who has proclaimed herself to have a BED. Why don't you just put it out there in writing, Chantel, and be real about what you're doing?
About my struggles, because it helps them, because a lot of people deal with these things. There's a lot of people with BED, binge eating disorder, or just people who have issues overeating, and there's people who have issues just with food addiction and so on and so forth. Okay, if you're new here, I have a few new audience members. As you can see, I'm a larger woman.
Don't flatter yourself. You mean super morbidly obese, but go on.
I've been bigger, overweight.
Well, and on top of it, you use so many filters to lie about what your appearance looks like on screen that you're causing a dilemma for yourself. Like, for example, we don't really know what that room looks like. It looks really tiny because it's being affected by these filters as well. So it looks like you're sitting in a closet. But on top of it, by having the walls close in like that on you, Chantel, it makes your cheeks look even fatter. it's really not a helpful situation. And then what happens when you actually do run into somebody who might watch you on YouTube and you're going to look completely different in real life, right? Because it's not like you can walk around with those filters all day. Like, why don't you slowly peel the filters back and just start wearing some light makeup and realize that this is what you are, this is who you are, and this is what you look like. I don't know what to say.
Since I'm a child, started around maybe 9 or 10, I started gaining some weight and becoming...
This is another story. This is a different story, because before she said her first food memory was when she was 3, and it was of eating chips.
More and more obsessed with food. I still struggle with that today. And I think that I will probably always struggle with that. I just have to learn to manage the symptoms as it goes.
But you never even try to. All your content is about food. All your memories are about food. All you talk about is food. Focus on something else instead of cashing in on your addiction.
There's just a lot of things going on. There's hormonal issues when you are used to overeating. There's also maybe traumatic events. There's also, binge eating disorder, which is actually a disease where you have trouble fighting the impulses to just eat and eat and eat. So there's various different things. People have these conditions for different reasons. So I won't get into that today. I've talked a lot about that, and I'm still kind of figuring that out, actually. So yeah, basically I just have to kind of figure that out. And
let's be clear, she hasn't been diagnosed with anything. She is not being treated. She has not been diagnosed. She's not getting the help that she needs to actually deal with this overeating situation problem that she has, because she's unwilling to get help.
Continue to work on that. I will show you my weigh-in now. I weighed in today. The date is April 27th, so Saturday. And I wasn't dressed, so I like to weigh myself like with no clothing just to get more accurate. Like this jilbab, for example, is very heavy. The abayas are heavy. So actually, I think first I'm going to show you my weigh-in from when I was at the doctor's office. I saw a diabetes doctor. I forget the name right now, what kind of doctor they are. But I am going to show you that weigh-in. I think I was 166 kg. So I will show you that now.
The doctor should insist that she step on the scale backwards so that she's not resting part of her fupa on the scale itself. That's not going to give you an accurate reading, Chantel. And you carry a lot of your weight in your front. So how is this supposed to be an accurate reading?
Look at how her stomach is resting on the scale. I still don't believe that weigh-in. If this is true, that she is the biggest 350-pounder I have seen in my life.
Yeah.
So, I am down some kgs, which I am very happy about. I'm not gonna lie, anything is good for me. I'm happy with any loss. So I hope I can maintain it and keep going down, especially for health reasons. Since being back, I've been trying to keep my binge eating in check, limiting junk food.
Let's see how long that lasts. Looks to me like she's putting on an act for Salah, but who knows?
I'm not saying completely eliminating junk because I find that to be too drastic and then that can trigger binges. But I've been trying to just go back to...
Let's be real. Salah does not care. He doesn't care. Because if he did care, she wouldn't have come home to empty cupboards and an empty refrigerator. She would have come home to fresh produce and healthy things to eat. But he did not put any consideration into her health or the fact that she was going to need to eat something when she got home because it was a 20-hour flight. He doesn't care. He does not care if she eats herself to death.
I don't know if it's instinctive eating, because my instincts are kind of all whacked out. Like, they're all, they need to be reset. Bless you. The cat sneezed. Until my hormones reset and everything like that, I've just been trying to pay attention to hunger. So, for example, in this shot, I've been eating, I ate this twice already since being here. It's one of my favorite meals. It's like a fried whole.
How is that even possible? Didn't she just get there on the 25th and today's the 27th? Or did she get there on the 24th and today's the 27th, but she's already had this meal twice? Wow, Chantal.
Fish, tilapia fish, I think it's tilapia, with some rice, some fried eggplant, some bread. I've been eating all of it. I didn't eat all of the rice, so that's the thing. I eat maybe less than half of that. So, and I eat one bread.
And look at all that pita. Look at all that pita. Carb upon carb again.
I eat the fish. I do share, with my cat, and I do eat all the fish, and the eggplant, and I have one round of bread, and I have maybe less than half of the rice.
She said she shares it with Julia. You are sharing bone-in fish with your cat. You trying to kill her too?
That's what I've been eating, and that's like a decent meal. I feel very good after that. I don't feel too full, too bloated, and I don't feel hungry after.
Gall. Let's not pretend you know what hunger feels like. Stop.
Y'all, looming
Hunger feels like. Stop.
That's kind of how I've been eating. I've just kind of been not stressing too much about, I don't count calories. I don't do any of that yet. I think that is just really just makes things more overwhelming for me at the time, especially just starting out.
What?
When you eat throughout the entire day and you're eating so much that your body has no idea where to store it anymore, there is no way that this woman has ever felt her stomach growl. She doesn't know what it feels like to be hungry at all.
What's overwhelming to you about counting calories is probably seeing the reality of how much you eat day to day. You have to face it if you want to change. Gall.
So I'm just starting small with a small victory so that I can build that momentum. I can be proud of something, feel accomplished about something, but something that's realistic and not too drastic. In the past, I've done all these dumb diets, these restrictive diets, fruit only diet. I do think that, for a person without diabetes, that
Fruit only diet could kill her. It could kill a normal person because you spike your blood sugar doing something like that. You can't just eat fruit. You have to have a balance so that your blood sugar stays normalized. That's so ridiculous. In fact, I read a story about somebody dying from trying to do that.
could be beneficial for short term, but I don't believe that long term eating only fruit would be healthy. Wow. To each their own beliefs. This is just mine. But I used to think that. I used to do all kinds of diets. You guys have seen the cycles, right? So the infamous diet cycles. And it's hard. It's really hard. And, it's probably the hardest thing I'll ever have to do, and is to overcome these things. In Canada, at my highest weight at one point, a few years back, I was like 402, and I remember being weighed at the hospital when I went in. I can't remember what I went to the hospital for at that time.
This is why she keeps saying she was heavier in Canada, but that was one specific time And when she came to Kuwait, she had lost a lot of weight because she had been doing drugs with Nader.
But I was very unhealthy, so I was there, not too often, but often enough, too much. So they weighed me and I was like 402, and I remember like, oh my gosh, I'm 400 pounds, So I haven't been since then that weight.
Lies. Someone in the community already debunked her weight from the last ER footage. The amount of fluid bags she was administered corresponded to someone whose weight was 450 pounds.
I don't remember what my highest was here, but I remember the doctor, I was 166, like I showed you, 166 kg, and I'll put whatever pounds that is here.
You're overselling the lie, Gall.
So yeah, in Canada, in my most recent trip, I had the car. I would go back to my old habits, sometimes eating fast food twice a day, just, going for a fast food meal, eating dinner with...
Well, you're doing that in Kuwait too. What do you think it's healthy to eat a fried tilapia and fried rice like that twice since you've returned?
My family, and then maybe going out for another drive later, just driving around, enjoying the sights, eating whatever I wanted, Wendy's, Harvey's, stuff like that. I would eat a normal meal at home, and then just go out and eat whatever I want and just not tell anybody about it. Just be like, oh, I'm just going to do videos, whatever, which is true. I would film things and go for small walks and stuff like that. The amount of calories I would eat, the small walk I did wasn't doing anything for it. Yeah, I would, I just had a hard...
Come on, Chantel, they knew that you were eating. Nobody can look at you and your size and be around you without realizing that you are overeating consistently on a daily basis. And so if you're like, bye guys, just gonna make some videos, they know what you're doing. They know that you're going to get food and eat on camera.
Time avoiding all of those comfort spots where I would love to get fast food and, just binge out in my car. So when I was in Canada and I had my last hurrah, my last fast food funeral. So I told myself, I want to make a resolution. I want to make a commitment to a new beginning when I come back. And I don't want to go back into old habits. I don't want to give in.
Yet there you are, sitting at your mukbang table and showing us your footage of your fried fish and your fried plate of rice, your hubcap of rice. So yes, you're right back to where you were. I don't want to cover this if it's going to be every other day. I'm starting today. Nope, today I'm going to do a big mukbang because one of my feeders sent me some money.
To binge urges, I want to learn to ride the waves and control them the best I can and try to overcome it. Cook more, meal plan more, just basically get on top of my health. Attempt again and again and again. Hopefully I'm able to do this consistently. But I feel like I do have a bit of a change because I realize my age, I'm 40 now, and I also realize that I have a lot more health issues than before. They're serious. And I want to live. I want to live a long time. I want to have a six-pack. And I'm serious about that goal, by the way. I want to live a long life. I feel like if I get healthy, I feel like my new life could just be beginning. And that really depends on how much work I can put into it. So I'm craving the hard work of it. I'm craving to keep up my home and be proud of my home and what I cook.
Well, you can't do it if you're doing it again and again and again. You have to come up with your plan, preferably under doctor's supervision, and stick to it every single day. And after 30 days, you will have made it a habit to eat healthy.
My kitchen, keeping up in my kitchen, where I nourish my family here and myself and take care of myself. I want this to be the beginning, the big 4-0. I want this to be the beginning of a new life for me.
I think most of us would like to see her overcome this. But how many times haven't we heard this before?
You know, I could do so much in life if I just overcome this. You know, time is going to pass anyway. I keep telling myself these things over and over. I have a lot of new tools that I'm using. I'm using journaling, you know, a lot of more organization tools. When I had therapy in Canada, they gave me a lot of resources to follow up with here. So there's a lot of things I'm going to be utilizing. And also I'm going to try to just be utilizing a lot of myself and my, you know, my ability within myself to try to overcome this. And if I can do this, I know I can do anything in life. So
Right.
that I put my mind to. Anyways, I have a good chunk of weight loss, so I'm on my way, and I'm feeling very optimistic and very happy. And I don't think there's anything in the world that can change that, because I feel on top of the world right now. I don't know. I just feel so happy, like being back here in my element, in my home. I just love it. I don't know. I'm just very, very happy right now. And I'm so happy that you guys are following my journey. I know it's another restart. I've said a lot of this before. I don't know what to tell you. That's how, you know, I will share my ups and downs, and there's a lot of downs in battling something like this, that's for sure. And you will see me cooking, you will see me eating things like spaghetti and stuff like that, but I'm gonna moderate it. I'm not gonna eat a whole pot pie. Don't think I'm gonna make pot pie for a while, because it's a bit of a red light for me, but I'm gonna try to make complete meals that are satisfying and will keep the binges away. That's the first step for me, is keeping the binges away. All right, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Oh, God, guys. She has absolutely no business trying to be an inspiration to other women, men, whatever, who are struggling with eating disorders. And yet she's like, oh, you know, I'm so happy that my fan base is finding the inspiration they need by watching me. No, girlfriend, you don't have a medical degree. You have absolutely no success in doing this. You're not being treated yourself. So no, be real about who you are. Take the filters off and say, I'm struggling. And instead of using my channel to constantly put things in my mouth to address my oral fixation, I'm going to start talking to you about like books that I've read, or news articles that I've read, or take you to see historical sites around Kuwait, or talk to you about, you know, like walking through the park or something like that. Like, change your content, girl.